Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
This is Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, Division 2 action today in SD2. We are on the map of Shichajin, of course, as you know, with all the lovely little waterways. But Rank, who do we have? What are they bringing?
On the left-hand side in the blue, we have Stan playing full Phantom Yaga, we have a Maverick Income. Right-hand side in the red, we have Homayoun playing 84th Guards Infantry. Also, we have, wait for it, a Maverick Income.
Kind of unfortunate right now, there hasn't been any bit of, massive recon. This HE-111 over here does technically have line of sight, but he can't do anything else with it.
Oh, he can spot, and hopefully the other guys can do the shooting. And there's definitely quite a lot of potential shooting down south with a Leader Panther, a Stern Panzer, heavy anti-air. Like, Stan's going pretty hardcore for, a German opening.
Yeah, it's really kind of curious to see that Sturmpanzer early on. This is usually the stuff you see. We always see a defensive line that's been established. You want to go and start attacking it. Actually, real quick up to the northern side, the pair de Assaltos actually taking out the Fury Papa Shahs. Oh my gosh, I forget how beastly those guys are. Those M38s are ridiculous.
Yeah, gotta love those Berettas. But he's definitely played it very light down south for this southern push to go successful. And he's actually doing something quite unexpected with the Panther. He's going to be pushing it up onto the far southern hill, which is risky because it's close quarters. You think you'd want to set it on the plateau here. But no, that's what the Stern Panzer's for, because he's going to go toe-to-toe with all these support guns.
Actually, I actually would like that Panther going around. Oof, 76-2 gets taken out. The first reason is if you can kind of even sneak it around, even if you put it on that saddle between the first, that first kind of bit and that second slope, you have the infantry that can kind of spot, clear out the top of it, hopefully, or you at least get stuff that can get line of sight out. And second thing here, too, okay, come on, aggress that Panther a little further to the east. Be gutsy, be daring. Let's do this.
You're the first main battle tank, technically. Go and be a main battle tank.
Exactly.
That's probably going to make a bunch of people in the comments very angry.
Oh, let him be angry.
Yes.
That's fine. I know they want us to talk about the Char B1.
Yes, yes. Truly it was the FT-17, which was the first main battle tank. Had armor, had speed, and it had armament.
Yeah, that's actually pretty fair. I'm just going to agree with you blindly, just on the off chance. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's what most good casters are supposed to do. It's kind of like a relationship. A lot of love goes into it.
Right or die.
Exactly. Except here in the meantime, are going to engage the Fallschirmjägers who are dancing over here onto that eastern lung. But the western lung, well, that one is looking rather bloody at the moment.
Yeah, the superior PPSH is managing to get into a good position by that Paradise, so she'll be able to just go on through and clear that up. We're seeing also, just the quality infantry from Stan is picking off all of Homayoun's infantry one by one. And that's pretty much how this is going to go. I mean, Stan has half of the infantry availability compared to Homayoun here, so he's going to have to trade quite efficiently.
He's going to trade efficiently, yes, but the power of his infantry is going to be deliciously effective. Like, absurdly so.
Yeah.
Air power, though. Actually, one thing I didn't really check before we got into here, air power for the Fallschirmjäger, we kind of go back and forth, and sometimes it's really, really effective, and sometimes it's let's be polite and call it lackluster. I kind of wonder which one we're going to be seeing today, since so far it's just been HE-111s.
Yeah, it's just been getting some very heavy eyes on the battlefield, yeah. Maybe we'll see some good Focke-Wulf runs, as those are quite effective. And we're also seeing Stan pushing through the lung position from the northern side, actually unloading quite early here, just because he's lost the northern part of that right lung, and he's going to be taking some heavy machine gun fire for it.
But you know what? I feel like that was probably the right move, especially since all the PTRDs and the Panzerfaust and the Panzerschreck team that's up there. He's going to take some devastating losses. Yeah, that's true. But I still think, especially with the 81 mil, as you can kind of see you're spotting and being obliterating that material, should be enough to win him the day. Barely, but it should be enough.
And we see just a very good basis of firepower which Homayoun has on that hill with the IS-2 and all the support guns backing him. And this is a very good position because he can leverage up north and down south as well. As we're seeing, he's going to be pushing some guard DPs onto that hill. And if, yeah, those Paraducis, well, show themselves, I believe. Oh, no, no, they're just deep enough into the forest where they can't get hit, so good for them.
In the meantime, kind of funny, the IS-2 Komoroti is not able to be seen just yet by the Panther.
Mm-hmm.
But I dare say that Panther is going to creep closer and closer and kind of, I think, unsheath his claws. Because technically he can kill.
Can.
Technically.
He has a pretty big gun.
He very much is a big gun. KV-8 to the northern side, by the way, in the town, going to be terrifying, as he always seems to be. And the mortar... Oh, no, we have a 172 being brought on in as well. Fascinating on that one.
Oh, damn. Yeah, heavy firepower. It's quite interesting just how well Stan has meant to hold the northern side with just 2 infantry squads. It feels like this is just a very good bluff that he's managed to set up here, just that first initial pick-off, because Homayoun's been so focused dealing with his southern push, yet he hasn't realized that the north can, you know, tumble like a tower of cards.
I think he's realized it, though. If you look right now, he's got this scratcher team that's, what, 4 superior SHs or rocks and a guard squad and a KV-8. So, yeah, the Par d'Assaltos, they can technically fight off any one of them, but the numbers are just going to be way too great otherwise.
We're seeing down south here, we got the hill push here from Homayoun. He's got that T-34 providing some close range fire support, and that is going to activate the Panther to come up here, get in close, and show him which tank is the better tank.
Well, in the IS-2 right now, actually, this is an interesting position because the Panther can engage the T-34. Not that he will, because the T-34 wisely backs off when he sees a Panther. But the IS-2 isn't able to get any kind of legitimate sight on, and that's a big thing. Just I know there's a lot of unspoken things going on there, but it's a big thing because the IS-2 is not able to be successfully engaging overall. He's going to move to another particular position. You can see right now the Panther's actually starting to rotate around that hill because he wants to engage the IS-2. You see the Gerlich over here is going to go and be the door knocker on the front. The other Panther A is going to engage the stuck turret at the moment. But, I don't know. I think this is going to be a dead IS-2.
Yeah, it's a very good position here of the Panthers. Of course, with heavy tanks in general, and IS-2 does go down, you have to be very careful of how you move it. Otherwise, you get unexpectedly side-shotted, which isn't exactly pleasant here. So rating to have 2 Panthers having that fire superiority advantage before engaged to IS-2, fantastic player from Stan.
Here's an interesting thought. So, northern side, the town is going very much into Soviet hands. That is, without a doubt, 100% happening. Southern side, I would say between the Panthers, the assault gun, is it better to be on the southern bank here? I would say that it is.
I would agree so too, yes. What's it called? Like, it's a more flag-dense area for you to take advantage of. And the problem with that town is that, yeah, once you take it, you can't really push any further. You reasonably can't go across the bridge. It's very hard to push to that zone where the Gerlich and the Fallschirmjäger MG42 is. It's way too deep into enemy territory. So you just end up kind of, like, pigeonholed into his dead end, where you have to keep a lot of units here to defend it, but you can't really exploit from that position.
Yeah, probably the only great thing is that if you take that position, the enemy's not coming from the south, because the south is just so blocked. You have the bridges, and that's it.
And
you can see right now...
Bridge too far.
Oh,
sorry, I had to make the pun, yeah, I know. It's every cast.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. But the Fallschirmjäger MG42 up on the northern side, you can see right now, this is exactly what you were talking about. Yep, the Yak 1B is going to come in and probably pressure those teams something fierce, or kill a team, which is even more deadly than that, of course. Ooh, Tio of Hada coming in. But for the moment, yeah, the infantry just kind of dithers out in the open. There's not a whole lot they can do with that.
Yeah. It's gonna be very hard for him to push. He could potentially run the flag over for a little bit, but it's probably not gonna happen. And there's still the Paradise soldiers are still alive in the town. They're performing some partisan actions, yeah, rating for their chance to strike.
Certainly the case. The 172.5. Looking to find that 37 mil pop gun. Don't think he's going to just yet. Nice thinking. No, I appreciate and optimistic thoughts. And unfortunately, the Sturmpanzer I think has gone down. Yes, he has.
Ugh, what a shame.
I think courtesy of that Zis 3, in fact, who's going to be able to obliterate an awful lot here. Snip here in the meantime, going to force out some early disembarkations. Okay.
This free on the hill as well. Honestly, he still has a very good position on the hill without fire support. He's gonna need to stand at his, bring up his Panthers to, try and counter at. Otherwise his infantry's just gonna get blasted here.
Well, he's at the mortars as well. He's at 3 different mortars. One of them is lower on ammunition, don't get me wrong. But smoke up. Smoke up, do some artillery fire, and yep, there we go. We're going to start to see it now as he's starting to engage that rather harsh position.
Yeah, and if he can deal with that harsh position, he could very easily tip over the southern side very squarely into his hands. Oh, those T-34s, which are in a very good position on that plateau. As you're seeing, that crossfire between the support gun position and T-34 position, as Fallschirmjäger's out in the open, just blasted. Not the great push here for infantry.
No, indeed it isn't. But the Maxims are starting to go down one by one. The Fusiliers and Zis 3 are totally fine, but the Maxims obliterated. Panther, in the meantime, is going to be engaged by this, and this is always that kind of like clenching moment. And if he can survive this next shot, I think the Zis 3 is going to lose this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's very low chance for Zis 3 to penetrate, but this is still Division 2. Anything can realistically happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Zis 3 isn't going to penetrate, though, either when he's got the APCR disabled. Northern side, yes, that position has been taken outside the town, but one, AT-111 gets recon out there, so Fallschirmjäger is being brought out in to deal with the DP squad, and El Tigre has been brought here as well.
As well as a heavy anti-aircraft gun, so he's going to be able to retake outside, and honestly, Homayoun's done pretty well for himself in his early game. It doesn't feel like he so much has... He has northern map control, but southern map control is looking to be a bit tenacious for him. And just looking at the forces position down south, once again, not great with numbers. It seems to be more blue stuff on the left than red stuff on the right.
Yeah, and you can see right now we do have ourselves a nice little World War I style of push. I am kind of curious to see how this 203 really kind of works here. If the Panther Fuhrer goes down, obviously, of course, it's a very, very big hit. Cuba Munitions, in the meantime, by the way, too, going to come in to repair this Panther A, get the mortars firing again, get that 37 mil back with full munitions. But the lung position is completely wide open.
It is.
Congratulations. There's a 45 mil on there. There's a Zis 3 on there, but there's also what, a company's worth of infantry being thrown on in. Like, that's brutal. You're not
very scary infantry. Like Fallschirmjägers and all the Italian powers is such a nasty combination, man.
How about the only thing that can save him right now is that 172. Okay, the 172 stops firing. Okay. For a second there, he was engaging his own troops. Panther. Okay, so 203 hits. The Panther A is already off that, and the AB-41, excuse me, he is down, which is kind of unsurprising. But regardless, if that's the worst thing that goes off, I mean, okay, we'll use 203 for that.
Yeah, and there's a pretty good push here from Homayoun down south with those T-34s making their play. And if Homayoun can get into this position, set up some long-range AT on that hill, he can really start doing some havoc at his Panther position. And then stopping those reinforcements into the right lung position, because by God, it's going to be a big pain for him now to rout out all of that infantry which have infested his lung.
And probably the best thing to kind of talk about here, though, too, is that it is still 14-10. That Stanishikovsky over here, for all of his able to stand on his own 2 feet, he's still down the tickets. And he's continued to bleed tickets. He's been down the entire time. Actually, he's been bleeding almost since the word go. So, not sure what his long-term prognosis is going to be, but I think it really has to center around solidifying and retaking control of that hill. And we're starting to see the first attempts of that right now.
100%, correct. Especially now we're getting into the halfway point of B phase, where Maverick income. This is pretty much a do or die for him to be able to get that momentum to start ticking the other way. Otherwise, come C phase, just, you know, how the economics of the game work, it's going to be hard for him to solidify a push.
Certainly the case. 81 mil trying to find that 85 anti-air down south. Still a 203 kind of prowling around. Actually, wouldn't be surprised if I see a 203 barrage on that eastern lung. And northern side, well, we knew what the northern side's going to look like. We're seeing exactly what we expect.
Just, yo, actually, those powers are still alive, which is hilarious.
Yes.
I think it just kind of made like an arrangement, like with them, like, okay, sure, we're gonna occupy the town, but you can have a block or two. Just leave us alone, please. Don't bring the Berettas.
Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, that wall, this street. That's it. No, Focke-Wulf 190 being brought on in. He's gonna go and have. Oh wait, if they actually see the 203, he's not gonna be enough to get that in time. But okay. Clearly, someone when they're playing IL-2 needs to work on their strafing runs.
I know.
Well, see, this 203 barrage that hits is gonna be very, very telling about how this goes. Very telling. First shell. Yep, there we go. If the infantry continues to get caught out in the open, if, let's say, if 2 of these squads get taken out, the fact that 2 are stressed, all 4 are stressed, but if 2 get taken out, I think that squad, that entire position could be eminently retrievable.
Yeah, he's going to fall back now, so there is an opportunity for Homayoun to push on through. However, he doesn't really have like a whole lot of forces yet to push through. He does have those beefy Strafniki Scrodge, but he needs like some really good CQC Scrodge of his own, like superior rocks, or just, you know, bomb the hell out of the infantry. That works too, if he wants to get out of position.
The funny thing is that Stan was just like, fine, you're gonna blow that entire thing to hell. Look down to the south. Look at that plateau.
Oh, that's it's getting hot, yeah.
Oh, it's very hot, and even more so, we have the repaired Panther with the Panther Fuhrer, like giving a ton of delicious veterancy to those already veteran troops. And there's 1 Strafniki squad and a couple of T-34s. You have fun with that, buddy. I think I know where I'll be.
Yeah, and Stan, once again, has done a very good job keeping his Panthers alive. He's been very defensive with them, but on this map, especially with just the hills and line of sight, it's better if they just stay in reserve and stay alive in case a big push happens, rather than trying to go, you know, full hog with them and, you know, making crazy cavalry maneuvers.
Kind of mildly amusing to me is that the infantry, as we've kind of talked about, needs to always be very, very carefully marshaled. IS-2 in the meantime is going to obliterate one of those squads.
Katyusha's down south.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that come in, including the Germans.
Oh, wow.
That was a double barrage too. That was a very, very good barrage.
Completely cleaned up at hill. It doesn't have anything really immediate to rush on up to take it, however. So I think Stan will be able to re-garrison that hilltop.
Well, he's got the 1 squad of Fallschirmjäger Sturm Pioneers that are just kind of chilling, so not sure why he didn't have them just immediately rush back in. But there's no Russians the other direction, so who cares, right?
But no, go ahead, sorry.
Ooh, the menagerie is complete! We have a tiger and an elephant to the north. Actually, more accurately, we had a tiger, but we have an elephant to the north.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot they get a single elephant in this division, so that's actually quite interesting he's bringing that up north. I'm guessing he's going to use that as a zone-out tool to just make sure nothing there crosses the open ground.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all. I think it's better used down to the south, but I love the fact. I mean, the elephants are endangered at this point anyway, so that makes perfect sense that he's bringing in, sort of 1 at a time. But I love that we're seeing it at all. That's my joy here.
It's the elephant ration.
Yeah, it is. Superior Comrades, we're starting to see the Russian foot attack happen here in real time. 16-8 as squad after squad after squad gets thrown to the fore, and unfortunately, some of those are Chernos.
Oh no, are you going to be okay, Cone?
Well, the Sturm Panzer up to the northern side is kind of mildly amusing in that it's shooting at basically unarmed peasants, which is a horrible thing to be watching.
That's most of warfare, let's be real here.
That is true, that's true. But I didn't expect it to literally see the epitomization of using a cannon to kill a mosquito. It's just, yeah, geez, yeah. Now, the Faka Wolves that we've seen here, I understand why we have them. I would have liked to see the Alcyons being brought on in instead. I feel the Faka Wolf 190s, they're good for pinpoint if you can guarantee some pinpoint. And just right now, they just never seem to be able to guarantee a pinpoint.
Oh, just not being able to pick up those effective kills here. And the mine's still doing great. It's a 17-7 for him. He has a huge point advantage. It feels like he has been like losing some important positional battles. It feels, but he's managed to play the flags extremely efficiently, despite that. So who cares?
Exactly. Exactly. Katyusha's, by the way, taking as forever as they do to reload. But at least the Studebaker is there. But then that hilltop, completely and totally controlled.
Oh, the Cherno's gonna be rushing across the bridge doing some forward recon here. I think he's gonna try to pick up at one flag where the Paradise Sotos are.
Well, if not that one, he'll pick it up over to the western side by the marshes. So the Paradosaltos are going to go, yep, obliterate that sis. The Chernos, though, smoking and burning and their hearts broken, are falling out the back and die.
Yeah.
So.
And there's some more who are gonna join their brethren very shortly.
Exactly. Now, I am going to watch the northern side as the elephant does want to go start sharpening his tusks as he's engaged by the 85 mil and the IS-2. So one thing, of course, we don't always talk hugely amount is that the 84th, despite the fact that they have a couple IS-2s, that's really all they have. They have very little else.
And the anti-tank is a bit lackluster. I mean, you got some of the IL-2s as well you can bring, but you're going to have to, really rely on those IS-2s, and hopefully the crews don't get killed. In this case, they did.
Oh, they definitely did. But it's still 16-8 because the Chernos have been able to pick up that flag over there on the marsh.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good pickup. Yeah, just any and all of these flag pickups just delay Stan from bringing it back to a +1 bleed for him. It's doing great here for Homayoun, and he's also putting pressure once again down south. Massive Strafni keepers, T-34s, the Panthers nowhere in sight. So Homayoun should pick it up.
Yeah, that is a beautifully cinematic shot right there, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, just the horde of Strafnikis, good god. No step back, comrade.
No, indeed. Now, back in that town, the Paradise Altos continue their white-knuckled hiding from everything. And looking otherwise, okay, Faka Wolf 190 is coming just to obliterate those Chernos. Somehow missed them. But
I think the pilot might have been having a bit too much to drink.
Exactly. It's like, geez, you had too much of your special chocolate? Like, come on.
Wait, my special oh, that's right, it's Ren.
There's a lot of things that have not been answered by you. Let me just say, Rasputin, I now know your secret to your dance moves.
That's an inside joke no one's gonna get.
No one's gonna get that.
That stays between me and Khan.
That's the lost files of Khan and Rangaru over here. Maybe someday when you're older, I'll tell all of you. Sturmpanzer, in the meantime, and the 37 mil and the Elephant are slowly clearing away all those little vestiges of Soviet troops on the northern side. And what had been a decidedly Russian sector is, oddly enough, slowly becoming kind of more German again. But the flags themselves aren't being taken, so who cares, right?
Yeah, it's just coming down to the flags. Like, your mind's been playing them perfectly. And, like, Stan has been getting very effective trades. I feel like Stan's going to have a better KD ratio at the end of years. But Homayoun's just got the objective.
Exactly. It's like we're playing the classic game, the Cones of Dunshire, and we forget it's all about the cones.
Gotta focus on the cones.
The Alcyone has finally come in. He's finally obliterating one total squad of troops with all of his bombs. His brethren come back in. He's going to go after a single Abusier over here with a 25 up north. Again, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that we're seeing it. But you're dropping 2,000 kilograms to kill one squad. That is a waste. It's a giant waste. You could have done that a long time ago. Of course, I'm saying that, of course, with God Vision, so...
And the Katusha strike managing to do a counter battery on the 81 mils. Only men's kills one. So, not exactly anything super crazy, but still, he just has that position. We got the two Panthers actually pushing onto the hill, unsupported, yo, so they're gonna bugger off, and oh, AT rifle, getting a turret stuck.
The second turret that's gotten stuck here, so I don't know what they did this morning, but they definitely had their proverbial Wheaties. Sturm Pioneers been moved on in. I think this is a very, very good thing. Quick rush them in before they get obliterated by the Panzerschreck. So, good play there. Very good play.
Yeah, the map's starting to feel very dynamic now. There's like pushes all over the bloody place.
Yeah. Ooh, IS-2 gets taken out by the LCM.
Oh.
See, that's what you can do with a level bomber. You just fucking sort of like, and what do we do now, boys? Just gonna back it off.
Yeah, he's been getting very effective kills on those IS-2s. I'm guessing there's only like a couple left now, or maybe that's the final one on the map. But still, that doesn't matter, have flags.
Yeah, this is SD1, this is very different. But it's SD2.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, SD1, this actually would have probably been the best strategy overall, to kind of keeping those Panthers in a very defensive set. But here, I can't help but feel like I think that the defensive position was good, but if you're not going to go and do anything with it, then who cares?
Yeah.
Like, eventually, you have to be effective. You have to be pushing one way or the other.
No, you make a very good point. Because if he was to leverage his Panthers on top of the hill, use that as a, base of fire support to zone out the southern plateau, and then you go for the crazy push and try to push down the hill into the town, that can net you some street points.
Yes, it does. That certainly will. Also, the Pair de Saltos have linked up with their fellows, and they're now free from their encirclement.
They're seizing the means of their own death.
One of them finally goes down, but he's been alive for 26 minutes and 50 seconds. Like, that's impressive.
Outnumbered and outgunned, so... Well, not outgunned, he had Bratters, so good job for him.
And you see right now, Sturmpanzer is going to go and just engage the T-34. Hits the Superior instead, but... and the 203 is going to engage that hilltop. Eastern Lung is going to be a very, very bad place to be in about 15 seconds.
We're already seeing the infantry starting to spread out. They have, they can sense the feeling in the air of the, havoc, which will be dropping down on them.
True. I think, by the way, we ended up having lost one of these Panthers down to the south. I don't see him any longer. The turret has been stuck as he's been going into the afterlife. 203 is destroying those forests. So, I mean, if nothing else, he's getting rid of the cover.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And it's back to a trove. It's down to a trove now. So Stan has finally been able to leverage the map to his advantage. But with this income, it's going to be very hard for him to play the long game.
That is true, but we are going to see things like this Fallschirmjäger inside the town should be able to dance on over and obliterate that T-34 with a Faust any second he wants to. Yep, any second. Any second.
Come on.
There we go. Oh my gosh.
Come on, blow him up.
There we go. And we're back to a 12-12.
Here we go. Yeah, it seems like Stan is making like a final desperate push here up north to try to take back that town. There's really not a whole lot of Homayoun's infantry who are still here, so he could potentially pick up two very important flags.
The issue, though, is that he keeps losing the lung positions, because now we have Ogdemachiki, who are being rather cheeky, and they're just... I mean, if he can hold it for 90 seconds, this is over. So, not for nothing, if this could be very, very big, or this could be just that last second. Like, this is on a knife edge. They feel like the Soviets don't have anything left. They've had all this infantry, they've had all this push. But, the Fallschirmjägers have not been able to seal the deal.
Well, they have not, and especially now, availability-wise, they've taken some heavy casualties, so he probably doesn't have a whole lot left either.
No, probably not. But you can see that the map is now 14-10 in the other direction.
Wow.
And the Ogdemachiki are going to get picked off. We're going to go to a 15-9 here in just a second. The KV-8S is pushing into that hilltop position, which is a very, very gutsy way to go. And the second that Fallschirmjäger is able to kind of get up behind him, yep, he's going to get Faust off. It's up. It's out. And it's good. That takes another one, so it's 16-8.
Alright, this is
This,
actually crazy.
yeah.
Seeing how this is stretched about here, the zooming all the way out. Like once again, there's more blue on the left, and oh,
And Homayoun taps.
holy crap!
Oh my gosh. And this, like, yeah, and the KD is kind of that's what we're seeing right there.
Wow, he was really close. I'm kind of
Yeah,
sad for him. He was not trading efficiently at match, as the KD obviously displays, but he held the flags. But Stan managed to get just a little bit of energy right at the end and like seal the deal, get the morale victory.
yeah, that's unfortunate, but there we go. Looking over here at kills in the meantime, so Homayoun, I mean, don't expect to see the same kind of killiness, although we did have that one Scottish star Niki Gora that did very well for himself. Jurkovic did pretty well as well. On the opposite side, though, Sturmpanzer, a few squads, Power the Assaulter, you see these guys over here take out T-34 as well. I wasn't really figuring that this had the distance when he opened up with a Sturmpanzer and a Panther down south. I
Yeah,
really
that's
didn't.
usually a bad sign. Such heavy. I mean, some Panzer's pretty good, but Panther early on can really be, 50-50 depending if it gets one shot by and flying IL-2. But no, he just out-traded Homayoun and just managed to, like I said, get a little bit of steam at the end to make that final push.
If I have just the one nitpick, it's just going to be the fact that I would have really, really liked to have seen some of those level bombers a heck of a lot earlier. I feel like it was a little bit. I'm starting to get real soft on the Focke-Wulf 190 bombers. I just like, especially the G3s. Like, I don't think they don't have the same kind of staying power that they should. But that's besides the point.
You just want to level an entire area. You don't want to just bomb one person. You want to bomb many people. You gotta
Well,
share that explosive.
if and I don't mean to make this a cultural thing, but if I was fighting against an American division, the infantry doesn't come on the same massive hordes. But the Soviet stuff, it tends to kind of come in just nice clumps because they work very well off of each other.
Mm.
So if I do a lot of suppression to a big area, that's really, really good. Focke-Wulf over here delivering a couple of bombs, I might be able to suppress one. Maybe I'll do some damage, but if I obliterate everything with 2,000 kilograms, then that's, no man, no problem, is the old joke.
Indeed.
But in any particular case, well done over here to Stenjakovsky. We did not expect to see that over there. I legitimately thought we were just going to see a bleed out over there at the end. So
Hey.
really well done.
Yeah, really bloody good job, mate.
But until next time, folks, I'm Conalberg.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.